Sometimes it's okay to be immature. Being immature or childish in the right environment with the right people can be some of the most fun that you can have that doesn't require a blow-up doll, and it seems that certain video game developers agree. Here are 11 immature Easter eggs found in video games. Now, I'm guessing that at some point in your life you've said these words.
Comedy is a place where the mind goes to tickle itself. That's what she said.
I mean, we've all done it, and sometimes it can be pretty funny. A game that you wouldn't expect to feature a "that's what she said" joke is A Plague Tale: Innocence. After all, it's a game set in the 14th century where hordes of rats are spreading the Black Plague. Well, later on in the game, you have to sneak past a couple of guards, and when devising a plan, this will happen.
We're better off using the back door.
So when Melly says that they are better off using the back door, the guard in the background can be heard saying, "That's what he said." Now, sure, this could just be a coincidence. I mean, the guard is in mid-conversation, but I don't think it is. Instead, I think it's a perfectly timed "that's what he said" joke. Another game that has a super serious tone but is hiding an immature Easter egg is Ready or Not. The game tackles some pretty heavy subject matter, and on the strip club mission, that subject matter is so dark that I don't think I can even go into detail what it's about in this video. Anyway, as you explore the club, you can find this. Now, I'm sure that I don't need to explain what these dolls were up to right before we walked in. All I'm saying is, this makes me look at Toy Story in a whole new light. So it wouldn't be a video about immature Easter eggs if I didn't mention Grand Theft Auto. The GTA series is packed with visual gags that usually blend in pretty well with the environment, and this next Easter egg is one of those. When visiting the beach in GTA 5, you can find all of the things that you would usually expect to see at the beach. Sunbathers? Check. Towels? Check. Inflatable toys? Check. Sandcastles shaped like pork swords? Check. Now, if this was any other game, I may give the developers the benefit of the doubt and think that they didn't realise what this looked like. But given that this is Rockstar, I'm sure they knew exactly what they were doing. Now, Hellpie is a 3D platformer that sees you take on the role of Nate, the demon of bad taste. With that in mind, it should be of no surprise to absolutely nobody that you can find some pretty immature jokes in the game. Early on in Nate's adventure, he has to navigate an office, and that's where you can find this. So someone had decided to print a whole bunch of, well, you know what this is, and despite it being childish, I think it's really funny. Now, if I asked you what's the most immature number that you could think of, I'm guessing that the more cultured among you would say 69. 69 is funny for obvious reasons, and if you don't know why, ask your mum or dad. Well, in Cyberpunk 2077, you can flick through various cameras at an Arasaka compound, and each camera is given a number and a location, which is very helpful. As you cycle through the cameras, you can land on camera 69. With that particular camera's location being he. Immature? Yes. Funny? Well, I think so. Now, if you're from the UK, you're going to recognise this next Easter egg immediately. In Batman Arkham Knight, Bats has to destroy a vault full of weapons before they end up on the streets of Gotham. Above the vault is the name Iceberg Lounge, which is the name of Penguin's club. Well, after blowing up the vault, the sign will say this instead. So this is the word clunge. Now, some of you may not be familiar with this word, but it's a slang term used to describe a woman's genitalia, and was made popular by the Eggcellent in-betweeners.
Then, when she puts some clunge around it, you'll be able to go for hours.
Again, this could be a coincidence, but I highly doubt it. So the relationship between Nathan Drake and Victor Goddamn Sullivan is one where they are both happy to take the mickey out of each other. It's a father-son bond mixed with the playful insults that only people who have been friends for years feel comfortable dishing out. For proof of this, you need look no further than Drake's journal. The journal is usually where Nathan keeps notes of puzzles or objectives. But if you keep on flicking through the pages, you can see that Drake has taken it upon himself to draw the many emotions of Sully in a very childish way. Well, childish, but also brilliant. Now, the chances are that if you have siblings, then this next Easter egg is going to hit very close to home. Max Payne 2 is a game about a hard-boiled detective trying to figure out his place in life after the murder of his wife and daughter. It's pretty heavy stuff, and with that in mind, you'd think that Max would be driven in his pursuit of criminals and wouldn't have time for childish games. Well, you'd be wrong. At the police station, if you head to the break room and stand in front of the TV, Max can annoy his fellow officers.
Hey, we're watching that!
And now, Lords and Ladies continues.
Get out of the way, Payne!
Mama, I tried to stop him, but he is beyond reason.
Hey, we were watching that, asshole!
Mistress, the harlot.
Like I said, if you have brothers or sisters, this must seem awfully familiar. Now, covering just the one GTA game in this video didn't feel right. So here's a second one. GTA San Andreas is a brilliant game, but it isn't too shy about being childish. During the Just Business mission, CJ has to help Big Smoke deal with some Russians. Well, as the bullets are flying, take a look at this statue. So at first, it looks like a typical sculpture, but upon closer inspection, it appears that the statue is holding his gentleman sausage whilst the other statues can't bear to look. Now, some of you may remember the time that the UK government thought that a poll to name a boat was a good idea. Of course, the name that was eventually chosen was Boaty McBoatface, and the rest, as they say, is history. Well, in 2017's Prey, we can find a reference to that funnily named boat in the form of a snowman. In the Hardware Labs, you can find this. So this quote-unquote snowman has been put together using the glue gun, and the name for this creation? Why, it's Gluey McGlueface. Of course it is. Right, let's end today's video with some good old-fashioned mannequin posing. Now, fingers crossed I'm not the only one, but when I used to go shopping with my mum, I would always try and move the mannequin's hands into suggestive positions, and it seems that someone at Ubisoft was the same. Again, it's immature, but I can guarantee that if you saw something like this whilst running your daily errands, it would make you laugh. So that's it. I record everything you see in these videos myself, so if you could leave a like, it would at least make me feel like some of that time was worthwhile. If you're a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.